And welcome back. Promote our schools, secure our future on this Friday. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Joined by Todd Erickson of Cap Ed Credit Union. And we have a young lady. She's a senior here. Lauren, why don't you introduce yourself to the listening audience?
Hi, my name is Lauren McKenna. I'm a senior here at Compass, and I'm excited to graduate, pleased to say.
Well, what's next for you then?
I'm going to California Baptist University on a swimming scholarship.
Wow, a swimmer. Todd, do you have any questions you want to ask here? You could do some of the work. I could sit here like a potted plant.
Well, yeah, I was asking her during the break about swimming and how much training goes into it and how many miles a day you swim or a week or something like that. How much training does it take?
We do a lot of practices on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. We have morning practices, and then every day we have practice after school. And so we swim around 8 to 10 miles a day. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That much. And you said you swim, you do many different strokes, and do you compete in several different strokes?
Yeah, back in, or about a month ago, we actually went to YMCA Nationals, my team and I did. So it was really fun.
Right, so you got the backstroke, the front stroke,
Yeah, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle.
Right, now, how many miles? What was that, how many?
8 to 10.
A day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you must be young to have the energy for that.
Yeah, if Kevin and I swam that much a day, we'd probably look like your brother.
Well, you would swim. I think I would sink. But how do you balance that with the schoolwork?
It's definitely taken a lot of practice over the years trying to balance the amount of homework that we have here at Compass and as well as like our apprenticeships that we have to do and then our swim schedule as well. So over time, I've been able to devote certain amounts of time to each thing so that it's balanced.
Now, when you say apprenticeships, what does that mean?
So at Compass, we have to they're almost like internships. So our junior and senior year, we have to get 40 hours of an apprenticeship with a company or organization of our choice. So we kind of know what we want to do before we go into college.
You know, Todd, when we hear this, and you at Cap Ed, you're founded by teachers, continue to support teachers and everybody else. When you hear Lauren, this young lady, about ready to graduate, what goes on in your mind?
Well, I think about the world that she's going out into and how prepared she is, and I'm being at these charter schools, I think really helps prepare kids for the going out into the whatever area that you're interested in. And these apprentices or internships, I guess, is kind of what you're talking about, are really important because it gives you a flavor, I guess, of some of the areas that you're interested in, and to see how, be able to shadow somebody and see what they actually do on a day-to-day basis. And so I think it's really important, and it's from a business standpoint, to have a little bit of that work experience is really important, along as with the education and your swimming, your extracurricular activities are very important to help prepare you for life down the road.
So speaking of life down the road, what does that look like? I'm sure we're not the first people that ask you what you're going to do with the rest of your life.
So I'm planning to get a degree in health science with an emphasis of pre-physician assistant studies, and then I'm planning to be a PA for an orthopedic sports and medicine doctor. Now,
Todd, when you were Lauren's age, were you as focused and ready to go? I'm sure you were.
I was not. This is amazing that she's got that much detail, and knowing what she wants to do, and so that's amazing. That's great. And the medical field is a tremendous field, and I think if I talk to 10 kids, I think 5 or 6 of them are looking at the medical field, and it's a great career, and it's a great thing to be involved with and help the society.
Well, and take care of the old people like us.
That's right. Yep.
Yes, I'm very happy for that, Lauren. Your time at Compass, the challenges, how has it made you the individual that you are now and will become?
So I've actually been at Compass since kindergarten.
Wow.
So
a lifer.
Yep. But I cannot express my gratitude that I have towards Compass. It's been such a journey, and I'm so thankful for everything that it's taught me through having to learn to have diligence in my studies and to have such an amazing work ethic and preparing really for college and for my future career, it's been quite an experience.
Well, Lauren, we thank you, and you have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Todd, are you going to take up swimming now? Or?
Well, I've tried swimming before, but I think I'll just stick with running and basketball and
Sure.
that type of thing.
You don't have to worry about drowning if you play basketball.
That's right. I don't have
Right.
to worry about drowning, and it's I'm a little bit better at it. So
Let me try and segue back to talking about the financial community. Then what do you say to folks that are drowning in debt?
Well, there's ways to get out of that, depending on the type of debt that you've got.
Now we take a look at CapEd. You've got some great programs, great credit cards. You've got a checking account that actually pays. Is that part of the process? Could that be?
Yeah, I think so. It'd be good to come in to talk to someone at CapEd, one of our debt consultants, and to help look at the situation and see how you can be put on a plan to help you get out of debt. And there's certainly saving programs that you can do. There's ways to pay to consolidate debt to a lower interest rate, and then once you do that, get on the plan, stay on the plan, and see it through, and then actually make some changes in your life so that you don't get back into that situation.
Sure. For people that are old timers or just moving here to the Treasure Valley, what are some of the unique programs that CapEd offers that other folks don't?
We have some really innovative checking accounts that we're offering right now. One is a cashback checking account where people earn 2% on their transactions up to $300 a month. And then we'll also refund their ATM fees if they qualify. So qualifications are easy. Use your debit card. Have e-statements and some direct deposits coming into your account. We have a high yield checking account that pays 2.5% from $0 to $10,000, and also refunds ATM fees up to $25 a month. If you get that checking account, we'll pay you $100, and then you can donate $100 to the school of your choice. And since we started offering this program, we've donated over $60,000 to schools by people taking these checking accounts, which are reward checking accounts. They actually pay you back. They're free. If you don't qualify, there's not a fee for you. It's a free checking account, and you can earn rewards if you qualify, and you can help the schools out a little bit at the same time.
$60,000. That's quite a lot of money.
Well, it is, and it's and we're happy to do it. It's as the community and as people come in and support CapEd while using our products and services, we give a portion of that back to the schools, and we've got 75,000 members, most of them here in the Treasure Valley, and we've had great support from the community, and we want to continue to funnel money back to the schools and other charities that support schools. And as we call it, your membership supports education, make your money matter, and that type of thing. As you support us, we can help support the community.
Sure. Anything else you'd like to share with us today? We appreciate you coming by.
One more thing is just our this first-time homebuyer program for people wanting to get into a home that's difficult to do. We have what's called a CHAMP program, where it only requires 3% down, and I'd encourage people, if you're having trouble getting that down payment, to go onto our website at www.caped.com and check it out, and maybe it's a program that can help you.
Really, it is all about helping people. CapEd has been doing that for many, many years. We want to thank you for helping us do this. Todd, we appreciate it, sir.
Thanks, Kevin. It's always fun.
Yes, need to have you back. I remember the old days. Anyway, thank you.
You bet.
Take care. Our great friend Todd Erickson joining us. We are live at Compass Public Charter School. Kevin Miller in the morning. We go to our old friend William Geen joining us. Mr. Geen, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good to have you with us here at KIDO Talk Radio. So we take a look at the situation going on geopolitically at the border. Can you give us an update?
Well, illegal immigration is now worse than it's ever been before. More illegal immigrants are streaming into America, combined with fake asylum-seeking illegal immigrants, than ever before. It's worse than it was under Obama. It's worse than it was under Bush. And while some of this is being funded by Soros-backed organizations and leftist governments and governors in Mexico and Honduras, a lot of it's being caused by presidential policy. There's been a major departure between Trump's actual governing actions and what he campaigned on. Trump campaigned very much like an American populist, but he appears to be governing much like a globalist, although he'll try to broadcast messages to his rallies and tweets to his base that sound like he's trying to do something. But when you take a closer look at what Trump's actually doing, he's not only breaking at least 10 of his campaign promises on immigration, he's doing the exact opposite of what we elected him to do.
William Gee joining us from Alley, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. So we take a look at the overwhelming numbers of people coming in. You have Thomas Friedman, no friend of the president, writer for the New York Times, saying that, yes, there has to be a wall, but we don't have any movement. Now, you've been very harsh on the president. You've been very critical. Do you think that he's the one that caused all of this to happen?
Well, I mean, not that he's the sole cause. He's not the sole cause of all of this to happen. But, yeah, the unprecedented surge of illegal aliens and unaccompanied minors, that's on President Trump. When he first got elected, the number of illegal crossings dropped to a historic low because the illegal alien smugglers and people like me thought he was going to keep his campaign promises. And so the flow decreased. 6 months into his presidency, when it became apparent he wasn't really going to do the things that he promised to do, like end DACA and end catch and release and build a wall, the illegals all around the world and potential illegals found out about that. And now they're coming in greater numbers than before. One of the things that Trump has done that's really, really turned on the flow is he's told his base he was going to stop the caravans of illegal aliens and make them stay in Mexico, but instead he let them in. So they're getting what they want. They know if they come in large caravans, they can walk into America without having to pay the drug smugglers. So it's actually an incentive for them to form caravans. Also, the incentive to bring children, abduct children, bring child escorts with them into the country is sky high because in the secretive budget bill that Donald Trump signed, despite the pleas of many angel parents, angel parents are the folks that have lost loved ones to illegal immigration crimes or illegal immigrant crimes, they begged him not to sign that secret budget bill within 24 hours of it being rolled out, but he did anyway. And inside that budget bill, there was an amnesty that makes it illegal or no illegal aliens who are minors can be deported between now and September because of the amnesty bill that Trump signed an amnesty into law. It's not Trump campaigned against amnesty, told us he opposed amnesty, told us the Gang of Eight bill was amnesty, but then he signed an amnesty on February 15, 2019, which shows you very clearly how duplicitous the man is. But now we can't deport any of those illegal alien minors, nor can we deport anybody who's escorting one of those minors, nor can we deport anybody who says they want to sponsor one of the illegal alien minors because of the amnesty Trump signed into law. President Trump also campaigned many times on reducing legal immigration levels, which, my organization, we support legal immigration. We just don't support it at these very damaging high levels of 1.5 million per year, which is more than every other nation on earth combined. Trump, tied into that issue of ours and said that he was going to reduce legal immigration levels. Well, the budget bill he signed on February 15th, which I think is like HJ 31 or something like that, it contained an increase in legal immigration levels, increasing the number of unskilled H-2B visas that are given out. Now, the main thing we're doing right now is his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who's a lifelong Democrat who works out of an office at 666 Fifth Avenue, has promised to roll out his immigration reform plan next week. And we fully expect it'll be like other immigration reform plans we'll have a lot of tough talk about building a wall, securing the border, and cracking down, and all this other stuff to get the bill sold. But it'll contain an amnesty for millions of illegal immigrants, and from what we're hearing, it's most likely to contain another legal immigration merit-based system where they let in more skilled workers and their families. So, again, Trump is going in the opposite direction. Now, the last thing about the wall, there is no wall. There's only a little bit of funding for a very small percentage of a wall. But a wall is another campaign promise broken because no wall would do us any good right now, Kevin, because the presidential directives that were, yes, they were started back during Bush and Obama, because a lot of people are like, oh, Bush and Obama started catch and release. Well, Bush and Obama aren't president anymore, and those presidential directives of our Border Patrol to use our tax money to pick up illegal aliens and escort them into the United States, which is what they want to do, throw them in that briar patch, so to speak. They're President Trump's. He owns them. They're his directives. A wall wouldn't do us any good. All that would happen right now, if we had a wall across our complete southern border, the illegal immigrants would just walk up to the port of entry, make fake asylum-seeking claims, or the Border Patrol would intercept them near the walls or encounter them and just transport them in. So right now, a wall, even if he had full funding for the whole thing, wouldn't work because his current presidential directives are to bring the illegals in and drop them off in sanctuary states and counties and cities, which will, which is another campaign violation because he made such a big issue about sanctuary cities being dangerous and deadly to people like Kate Steinle and thousands of other Americans being killed by illegals each year. Trump's going to bring them in and drop them off in blue strongholds where more Americans will be killed by them. It's a disaster, and it's horrible, and I'm sorry that this man lied to us all, and we're doing everything we can to pressure the president to return to his campaign promises. And if we can't get him to do that, we're trying to get him at least to back off the amnesty thing. So me coming on your show like this and the things we're doing at AliPac.us right now may prevent the amnesty rollout next week or have the amnesty portion taken out of the bill. There's a lot of things we may be able to accomplish, but only those who are willing to stand up and hold the president accountable, look at the facts of the situation. Those are the only people who can make a difference right now. I'd almost rather be fighting Hillary Clinton, Kevin, because if I was fighting Hillary Clinton, I wouldn't have a problem unifying conservatives and independents against an amnesty bill. But because I'm fighting a Republican or someone who claimed to be a Republican like Trump, who's given so much money to Democrats over the years, because I'm fighting Trump, there's great division in the base. There's a lot of people that are like, William Gein, hush, don't fight Trump. You're going to hurt his 2020 chances. Well, listen, if you want Trump to win in 2020, you need to get on my team right now and pressure this guy to do things right because he's losing a lot of supporters like me that are not going to be there for him in 2020. And here's another thing we're running into, Kevin. So many people who support Trump don't understand that these illegal immigrants that he's having the Department of Homeland Security bus in and drop off tonight, they are clear to vote. I mean, it's illegal for them to vote, but there's nothing stopping them from voting, okay? So a lot of the illegals that are coming into the United States illegally tonight will be registering to vote, will be voting for the Democrats, will be voting against the people that support Trump out there in the 2020 elections, and we're trying to stop that.
William Gein, we always appreciate it. If people want to help, what can they do?
Please come by our website. Right now we're raising funds and getting more folks on our email alerts, which is the main way we can reach out since Silicon Valley, Facebook, and Twitter like to make sure you can't hear from us very well. And we're at www.alipac.us. That's ALIPAC.us.
William Gein, we always appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, quick one there. Kevin Miller in the morning. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Your reaction to William Gein and his criticism of President Trump next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And taking your calls about the issues that matter to you. Oh, that little rascal Tea Party Bob, he decided to drop. Well, shame on you, Tea Party Bob. Let's give you some information I've been holding out for a while, just some regional stuff here. A new car seat law in Washington could have some kids in boosters up to middle school. That's right. The governor, now this is in Washington, not in Idaho, signed a new law updating car seat regulations. Booster seats would be necessary until children reach 4 feet 9 inches. We'll just keep going. In some cases, that means some kids could be in their booster seats at the age of 12. The new guidelines will go into effect in January. I guess, once again, thank goodness we live in Idaho. Seems to be like an unnecessary regulation. Also, are you a Generation Xer or a millennial? Well, forget millennials. The real financial time bomb in America is Generation X. Now, thankfully, there aren't a lot of us that are Generation Xers. We're the first victim generation, if you will. When we were growing up, it was all about the boomers. And then we were going to get our time, and then these millennials came by and stole our spotlight. You know, sandwiched in the two largest age cohorts in American history. So, our Generation Xer is going to retire. We'll share that with you in a minute. First, is anybody going to retire? Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Dave. So, retirement isn't looking so rosy for Gen X. The cohort closest to retirement age, behind the baby boomers, that's right, behind the baby boomers, is wholly unprepared to leave work one day. Well, look, cradle to grave these days, there is no retirement. Anyway, according to an insider and morning consultant survey, now they interviewed and talked to over 4,400 Americans. Over 1,100 identified as Gen Xers, defined as ages 38 to 53. Now, you had over 200 people did not select a generation. The margin of error was plus or minus 1%. About half of Gen X respondents said they expect to retire before age 75. Well, who's going to live past 75? I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. 23% said, 23% said that they didn't expect to retire. They expected to retire between the ages of 56 and 65. And others, another 28%, said between 66 and 75. Meanwhile, 10% of Gen Xers said they don't expect to retire at all. That was the highest share of any generation. And 19% didn't have an opinion. Now, on the other hand, the generation that spends the most on vacations, the boomers, no, that would be the millennials, followed by the plurals or Gen Z. They're all about the experience. Of course, they happen to be the most frugal when it comes to paying for air travel. Well, that's kind of like the fake touchy-feely news. What about the real news on KIDO Talk Radio? Let's find out what's going on in your world. Good morning, Maggie. And let's go to Max in Garden City. Max, thanks for your patience. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Plump. And you?
Oh, living the dream. Living the dream.
Right.
You know, I was listening to this Mr. Dean, and I just have a few comments. I think that he's well-intended, and his fact sheet is correct. And yes, President Trump has let us down a number of times. But what he fails to realize is Mr. Trump came from a world outside of politics. He came from a world of business. And he intended every promise he's made, and he has fought as hard as he can to get them. But politics, like business, everything requires compromise. Nobody could ever think that a president, however experienced or inexperienced, could roll into Washington, say, do this, do this, do this, and have it done. Even people who were coddled like Clinton and Obama didn't get everything they wanted done. I think the president's trying. I think he's doing his best. I think in many cases his best is not good enough. But I also think that he has constraints, oppositions, problems that Mr. Dean, neither he nor you nor myself, can even begin to imagine, as this man is the CEO of the largest, greatest, wealthiest, most powerful nation in the history of the world.
Well, if you were the president, what would you do about all the folks coming in? How would you handle it?
Well, knowing that any executive decision I would make would get tied up in the courts immediately, especially the Ninth Circus, I would have to start making deals. I'd have to give some things away to get the things I want. I'd have to weigh the priorities and decide, okay, If I'm going to be hard-headed, I'm not going to get anything. What can I get for the American people that will best secure their future? And, see what happens. I could not withstand the slings, arrows, and ICBMs of Democratic reprisal, which is why I could never be president. But were I president, I'd have to sit down and see what kind of a deal is acceptable. I think Mr. Trump has finally reached that plateau, and he's realizing if he doesn't give, he's not going to get. Because the damn Democrats have so politicized our freedom. And, somebody once said, get it right. Yeah, fighting for our principles is much easier than living up to them.
Max, thank you.
All right, buddy.
We appreciate Max from Garden City. We'll take more of your calls coming up. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Greg Cordero joining us here. We're at Compass Public Charter School. Mr. Cordero, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your role here.
Well, I am the vice principal here at the secondary campus. So I kind of do a little bit of everything. At charter school, we kind of wear multiple hats. So I oversee the technology department, the athletic department. I kind of help out with discipline and some scheduling. So a little bit of everything.
Well, I heard there's no, you don't really have to worry about discipline because all the kids we've talked to, they love the school, sir.
That's perfect.
Yeah. When we take a look at the, many of us understand charter schools to a degree, but what's the difference between a charter school and, let's say, a brick and mortar public school? Many people have heard the term charter schools. They don't understand the differences, sir.
Each charter school has a focus, and so they and it's a little bit different in as far as in those that it can attend, because it's more lottery based. It's not a neighborhood school where if you move into the neighborhood you automatically attend the school. This is more of a lottery based, and we have boundaries, and the boundaries extend to various locations, and so then there's a lottery process, and most charter schools, like I said earlier, do have a focus. So our focus is honors, and so we teach high schoolers in kindergarten, and so we start in kindergarten all the way to high school, and then by the time they get to our middle school or high school program, they are taking college credits. So we are teaching them to move on academically.
Right, very competitive to get in here, from what I understand.
I don't know about competitive. I know we do have a very large wait list. We usually scrub our wait list at every year, and by the time it's time for the lottery to open up again, we are running usually around 700 in our lottery, and we may only have a total of maybe 150 openings.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about you. What led you to education? What led you to here?
Education. Well, I think I grew up with education on the brain since my father was an educator, and we kind of moved around, and that was something I really enjoyed doing. I liked working with kids. I liked being a part of their life growth at a young age. Moved around from Florida to Arizona, California to here. Just kind of ended up applying here as a technology teacher for the middle school, and kind of worked my way up. I really enjoy Compass.
Let's talk a little bit about the vision of Compass Public Charter School. You've got 2 campuses, but very soon, at least, you're moving part of your campus into a building. And by the way, if you're looking for a great deal on Cherry Lane, there's an available property there. Prime Real Estate in Meridian. No, Kevin Miller isn't going into commercial real estate, but there's a great opportunity to own one of your campuses that's for sale, right?
It is. We are selling our K5 location, which used to be a church, and so we're hanging on to it until we actually can sell it. Our secondary building is actually moving to our new location, which is on Black Hat and Franklin, which will be finished around July-ish. And so our secondary, which is 6 through 12, will be moving over there to that location.
And when you finally have everybody in one location, what will that be like?
Well, it'll be a unified K-12 school. And so once we sell the Cherry Lane building, then our phase 2 is to build out our elementary wing. and so we will all be in one location.
Now, finally, balancing the budget, because I never can get it right how charter schools work. You finance things, you have a board. How does that work as far as the parent, staff, student interaction?
Well, we have an amazing charter administrator, Kelly Trudeau, who does an amazing job with our business manager, Cindy Stover, and they work together to make it work for us. We don't get the same funding for facilities as a traditional public school, so we have to be a little bit more creative on how we work our programs. So our teachers can wear multiple hats, and administration wears multiple hats. So we all kind of work together.
You wear multiple hats, as you said. Yeah.
Yes, I do. And so, and then we get a lot of help from our parents who come in, and they'll help in various ways, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in the office, or they kind of are behind the scenes. But we do get buy-in from our parents, which we do appreciate.
Now, finally, you're looking at a new gym. You're trying to raise money for a new gym.
We are.
Part of that's one of your many jobs. You're the new gym fundraiser.
Yeah, yes. So we all kind of work together, and so we were able to build out the gym as far as the shell. Then we were able to find some additional funds to put the gym floor down and a couple of hoops. However, that's as far as we can go. We don't have any more funding to finish the lockers, to add the bleachers, to add all the items necessary to actually hold our high school games there. So we're still going to have to rent another school so we can play our games. However, we do have opportunities that people can donate. On our website, we do have a list under the athletic page of areas that they can donate to kind of help us out, or donate a small piece. Well, let's say somebody wants to purchase and donate the money for the bleachers. I think that's like $42,000. So, we are kind of giving levels so that if they can donate that, they can get a plaque. Just different things that we offer for donors.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us and wearing your multiple hats.
You're welcome. Thank you, and for the opportunity to be here and speak about our school. A
great deal. Cherry Lane, I'm telling you. Prime real estate right by ICCU and just down the road there. And you guys have it going on, so thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
As you probably know, on the articles of impeachment for President Nixon, Article 3 was that he ignored the subpoenas of Congress, that he did not honor the subpoenas of Congress. This is very, very serious.
There we have it. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Before Glenn Beck will take your calls. Nancy Pelosi basically calling out the Attorney General, saying that he should be, put in jail. She was asked about that from a reporter. She didn't go that far, but it's just crazy when you have these unsubstantiated speculative allegations, and really whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, they do our republic no good.
I think that the statements being made by the President of the United States has given a blanket statement that he's not going to honor any subpoenas is obstruction of justice. I think that many of the statements that the administration has made has been about obstruction of justice. We are in a very, very, very challenging place.
We're really not. Let's go back to then Congressman Labrador going toe-to-toe with Eric Holder, the non-crime fighting Attorney General at the time, and Eric Holder just giving Congressman Labrador and the members of the Republican Party, when they had the majority in the House, the figurative and literal Heisman, right? The Heisman. And they held him in contempt, and nothing happened, and Loretta Lynch, and nothing happened, and everything else, and nothing happened. It's not like this hasn't happened before. More on that in a minute, but if you're driving a pickup truck, and you know how much good old Kevin Miller loves everybody in their 150, 2500, 350s or whatever, there is some important information about a truck recall. Let's hear the latest from Jeff Manasso.
GM's recall covers certain 2019 Chevy Silverado 45, 55, and 6500 trucks, and 2017 to 2019 Silverado and GMC Sierra 25 and 3500 pickups. All have GM 6.6-liter diesel engines and an optional engine block heater used in colder climates. The company says the electric heater cord or the main terminals connecting the cord to the heater could short circuit. GM says there's been no injuries. The company's asking customers not to use the engine block heaters until it finds a fix for the problem. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
There we have it, some important information that you need, especially if you're driving a Chevy or GMC truck. But back to this issue concerning the president and Nancy Pelosi and everything else. You know, we've had the same constitutional showdown during the Clinton administration, during the Bush administration. It's just ramped up to the nth degree. It's like gasoline on a fire when we're talking about President Trump and the media. Let's go to Tea Party Bob, who joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. We thought we lost you there, little buddy.
Well, for some reason, my phone company decided to drop me. Maybe they didn't want me on the air this morning.
Well, did you pay your bill?
I do pay my bill on time. It's automatic, so I don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
You know, the Democrats at all costs have to try to discredit Barr. He is the biggest threat to them because of his power to investigate the previous administration's foray into spying on the presidential campaigns. And not just the Trump campaign, but the possibility that the Obama administration spied on many of the Republican campaigns. And if Attorney General Barr is successful, we are going to see a lot of grand juries formed and many cronies of the deep state and the Obama administration wind up in court, possibly jail. You know, this is the biggest scandal in our political history, and it's time to clean house, get rid of the cockroaches that have infiltrated the inner workings of the government for many years. It's called draining the swamp. You know, when you take a look at what Trump has done for the first time in 20 years, we're seeing wage growth with the blue-collar workers at the bottom 10% of the workforce moving up. We have GDP growth of over 3%, which is the toughest quarter, the first quarter. You're seeing so many good things happen. You see the American worker and their families benefit greatly from these economic policies that could have been implemented many years ago. But you know, when you're dealing with Democrats, they're not going to do that. They want to collect taxes. You know, if we can reelect him as president in 2020 and reclaim the House of Representatives, keep the Senate, I think we'll see even better things to come as he continues to deregulate and fix our badly broken trade agreements with trading partners.
What did you make of what Bill Keene had to say?
Excuse me?
What did you think of what William Keene said about the president?
I was going to mention that. You know, for all the things that Keene complains about our president not doing on the immigration, he has been the best president we've had since Ronald Reagan. All the naysayers who said that this boom would not last had better get on the train because it's leaving the station. And if you think housing prices are high in the Treasure Valley now, keep an eye on what happens when this economy continues to grow at its current pace. Because the real estate agents and appraisers are already saying it can't last. I'm telling you, people are moving into Idaho at the rate of 1,000 to 2,000 a month. They can't build the houses fast enough to keep up with that. This is an economy that's on the roll. So, Mr. Keene, for all the problems that we have of immigration, he can't fix all of those without the help of Congress. So maybe you should start talking to the Democrats and complaining about them instead of complaining about Trump.
Tea Party
and by
Bob,
the way, Kevin,
yes, sir.
Kevin, I want to say one thing. Your interviews with the students at the campus give me pause to think that there are schools that are teaching our children how great our country is, which is something we don't hear enough of. So thank you, Kevin Miller, for all you do to bring our schools into the limelight so we can see for ourselves through your interviews with the students and the teachers how well these children are doing in our Idaho schools. Thank you again.
Tea Party Bob, thank you. Publisher of the Gem State Patriot. Have a great day.
You too, my friend.
Let's go to Tom in Nampa with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Kevin. I have a question for Nancy. Hillary had a subpoena served upon her to produce certain files. Not only did she fail to produce the files, she destroyed them. Where was Pelosi's moral outrage and indignation then? Does the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party ever bother them the least little bit? Or is it simply, we will do anything to win, and once we win, we'll forgive ourselves. This is the mindset of the Nazis. Oh, wait a minute. The Nazis, National Socialists. The Democrats, Socialists. Okay, never mind. Question answered. Honestly, the hypocrisy just, ugh. I can't believe it. I can't believe the self-serving, self-righteous hypocrisy. Sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about, Tom. God bless. Thank you for the call. Good morning, Dave. And I'm Kevin Miller. Thanks to everyone here at Compass Public Charter School, Cap Ed Credit Union, T Mazda Subaru, Ray Amaya, Joel, Phil, and you. God bless and keep the faith, everyone.